Have you ever thought about your feelings and your thoughts being connected? Have you ever made, or do you think there's a connection between how we think and how we feel? Every feeling that we have can have a direct impact on our response in any given situation. And those feelings come from somewhere. They actually come from our thoughts. So every thought that we have creates a feeling, and every feeling we have creates an action. And what I'd like you to do, just for a moment, please, would be take time to tune in to how you're feeling right now. Maybe you'd like to close your eyes. Don't fall asleep now. You'd like to close your eyes and just relax and tune into that. And just acknowledge that feeling. Thank you. Now I'd like to take you back a little bit in time to the year that YouTube was founded, the year that we lost George Best, and the year that I moved into this village. Anybody know what year I'm talking about? It was 2005. Yes, 18 years ago, imagine. Can you remember what was going on in your life in 2005? Were you even born? You might be one of the 61,042 babies that were born in Ireland that year. Where did you live? Can you remember the colour of your hall door? And maybe you can recall your favourite song or your favourite TV show or your favourite ringtone, whatever that might be. And when we think back to that, we want to see what was going on in our lives in that year. And for me, 2005 was a very important year in my life. I can recall exactly how I was feeling that year. Because as the year began, I had two very different frequencies of emotions going on at the same time. And on one level of the frequency, I was experiencing a lot of fear. I was very anxious and worried. I was feeling overwhelmed and very uncertain, and even a little bit lonely. But on the other frequency of emotion, I was feeling really excited. I was liberated. I felt driven and motivated. I felt strong and empowered, ready for the adventure ahead. And I suppose you could say it was a little bit like being on our local roller coaster, the Cuchulainn. But why was I feeling that way? What was going on in my life to create those thoughts that were bringing those feelings? Well, back in 2002, my marriage had ended, and I found myself in a situation with two young children, knowing that we would have to sell the family home, the home that they began their young lives in. And for the next few years, I had to navigate my life as a young mom with a baby and a toddler. And then in 2005, after many years of struggle and stress, I was so happy to find myself in the position to sell the family home. Now, this house was 5 kilometres from the city. And remember, it was 2005, boom time. So the house sold, sale agreed in a matter of weeks. This was fantastic. But of course, on the flip side, it brought about a lot of uncertainty. Where was I going to live? What were we going to do? And would we be okay? A great friend of mine who lives in Ratoath said to me, "Have you seen the new houses that they've built in the village?" And I said to him, "What? In Ratoath? Like all the way out there? That village past Fairy House in the country." Because my childhood home was also only 5 kilometres from the city. So village life was going to be a whole new experience for me. Now, the definition of a village is a small settlement usually found in a rural setting. So on the 23rd of August 2005, myself and my children relocated to this village, to this small settlement in a rural setting. And I remember that day so well, driving into Ratoath, the car packed, the kids in the back, following the removal truck up the road, ready for the adventure ahead. And the sun was shining. It was a beautiful day, actually. And it did feel like we were just on a trip in the country. My family thought I was crazy. Didn't I tell you that already? Because they said to me, "You're really going out there?" Thank you. Family are in the audience there somewhere as well. Thank you. I had realized that I had gotten myself to where I wanted to be by using this insight, by understanding that every thought that I have created a feeling, and every feeling I had created an action. And that felt good. That felt strong. That felt empowering. But of course, the toughest part of all of this was telling my children that their lives was never going to be quite the same again. Their parents were divorcing. They were relocating to a new village in a new area. And oh yeah, in 7 days' time, you're going to start a new school. And a week after we had relocated here and all the hype had settled down, and the kids did actually start school, I felt a huge anticlimax. It hit me hard, and I thought, is this it? Is this what I've worked so hard for over the last 3 years? I cried a lot. I just felt lonely, worn out, and exhausted, to be honest with you. But I knew something had to change. I had to change. This was my life, and I had choices. I had the power within me to choose a positive thought, to choose a positive feeling that would allow me to take a positive action to help me move forward in my life. And in those first few weeks, I knew I'd done the right thing, that I had come to the right place. Because on the first day that we moved here, we met our wonderful neighbours. And 18 years on, feel so blessed to still have them in our lives. They're more like family. We now had a home that we could call our own. But what I never expected was the collective support of a vibrant, thriving community. A community that has supported me and my children in so many ways that I will be forever grateful. And I knew that in those early days, the foundations were being set for the next 17 years of working and living in this thriving village. I started to make valuable connections within the smaller tribes in our village. So through businesses, students in primary, secondary and third level education, and also through all the voluntary work. And to pass that information on was so important to me, and I am so grateful over the last 15 years to have spent time passing that knowledge on to people and the connections I have made in this community. But I wanted more people to know. And being part of this community facilitated me to pass that information on. When I first moved here, I got involved in our local newspaper. And I had a lovely little article called "The Secret to a Successful Life." And when I'd walk around the village, people would say to me, "You know, I read your article this week, B. Oh, totally resonated with me. Were you talking about me and my life?" And I'd say, "No, well, I was actually writing about my life experiences." But I realized that the challenges I was having on a day-to-day basis, the people in my community, they were having them too. And what I realized too was if I took time to tune in with how I was feeling on a regular basis, I became more decisive. I made better decisions. I became more proactive and even a little bit fearless, which probably explains why I'm here today. I knew that I could choose a positive thought to create a positive feeling, which was going to create a positive action and bring me towards the success that I wanted. And would it surprise you that you can choose how you would like to feel? Think of a feeling that you would like to experience and just put "I am" in front of that. So if you want to feel excited, who doesn't want to feel excited? Yeah? Do you? Yeah. I am excited. If you want to feel energized, I am energized. And you just make that into your affirmation. Anyone who knows me will know that the 3 favorite I love to share is, I am amazing. I am really good at what I do. I am confident. And when you repeat these, they become part of the physiology in your body and you start to feel more of that. When I communicate with groups of people, I always ask this question. If you could choose how you would like to feel every day, what feeling would you choose? Anybody know what the top answer would be? Yes, spot on. Everybody says they would like to feel happy. And you can actually choose to do that. So say the affirmation, I am happy. That will create the feelings. Now there is a knack to this. You've got to do it often. And you've got to repeat it. And to stay on track, I want to share with you 3 questions that I use. I say daily, but there's probably 8 or 9 times a day that I do use these as well. And the 3 questions are, question 1, how do I feel right now? Question 2, how would I like to feel right now? And question 3, what do I need right now? Now, these questions help me if I'm feeling a bit frazzled or my life is a bit overwhelming in that day. It allows me to press pause. Anybody feel like that's important? We press pause. And you can press pause between the thought and the feeling, because that allows us to realign and choose what we would like to choose as a feeling. And the reason why we say right now is because if you say right now, you can't jump forward into the future or bounce back into the past. You just have to be here right now. These questions have the power to change the direction of our thoughts, but they also have the power to change the direction of our day and also the direction of our lives. It's not what people do for us that's important, really. It's how they make us feel. And I know when I moved into this village, I can remember how people made me feel. As Maya Angelou says in her beautiful quote, I have learned that people forget what you have said, that people forget what you have done. I think she might have said what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And I'm blessed to have so many wonderful experiences here in Ratoath, both personal and professional, through business networks, social events, local activities, and the communities within the school. And I feel so blessed to have so many wonderful friends here in the village. So many wonderful friends here in Ratoath. It takes a village. And we are all independently unique. But collectively, we can bring about energies that can move mountains, that can change the world, that can help us feel included. And I am so glad that I took that uncertain step to relocate to this small settlement in this rural setting. And I am extremely grateful that it takes a village. Thank you.